The world watched in horror as the Russian invasion of Ukraine began in February of 2022. In the months since, Ukrainian journalists have worked tirelessly at great personal risk to tell the story of the war. Among them is freelance journalist Victoria Roshchyna, who since the war's outbreak has been reporting from Russian-occupied territories.
She's the only Ukrainian journalist I know who's been reporting from the occupied territories for one of the most respected, if not the most, to me, the most respected newspapers in Ukraine, Ukrainskaya Pravda, Ukrainian Truth.
Despite being detained twice by Russian forces, once for almost 2 weeks, Victoria has not backed down and continues to report from the front lines.
Instead of going back home to Kyiv, she just found a way. She borrowed money. She got herself all the equipment she needed to go back to the field and continue to report on the front lines. By now, it's been more than half a year. Victoria Roshchyna has hardly left the front lines.
One of the reasons that we selected Victoria for the Courage in Journalism Awards was her extraordinary bravery, the strength that it takes to run towards danger, knowing full well what the consequences might be, really made her stand out. We wanted to recognize her also as a symbol of recognition of the incredible work that Ukrainian journalists are doing covering their own conflict.
From the start of the war, Victoria has continued to hold power to account by reporting on what is happening to her fellow Ukrainians.
She asked the driver to take her to where Russian tanks were, and Victoria, without any weapons, she goes to the area where tanks are fighting, and she wants to see that battle with her own eyes.
It's so important to have journalists on the ground in Ukraine and to have local journalists on the ground. They are the ones that are documenting the atrocities that are taking place, and ultimately their record will be used to hold people to account, which is what journalism is meant to do.
There is an expression in the Russian language, the only warrior in the field, and she's that warrior.